What is going on? So we've seen some changes with the market, and of course, my phone decides to ring now. But what does that mean going forward, and the future of the Arizona housing market, especially if you are looking to buy right now? That may change if you're looking to buy 5 years from now, even though I cannot predict the future. But really, to get this started, home sales month over month have fallen 12%. Now, year over year, which is not unexpected, they're down 25%. But seeing that fall from 12% as far as home sales go, is this just the beginning of what we're seeing? And finally, things are catching up. Well, to get more into that, we're going to look at some of the data in the Cromford report. Again, my favorite source of info, just the way it's compiled, and look at everything. Now, it shows active listings. This is active listings as a whole. Now, when it comes to just single family detached, which is really the metric I like to pay most attention to, and we're at 9,556, still well below. Earlier this week, we saw that drop down to like 9,200, but as a whole, we're still losing around 50, 60 homes per day. And again, we're going to get into the pricing here in a moment, but that inventory number, let alone, is really the biggest factor on why this market continues to go up in price. Now, again, looking here in the red, if you're a seller, that's not what you want to see necessarily. So listings under contract is under contract with backups and contingent. That is down from last month, up from last quarter. Pending listings are also down, and listings under contract are down. So when May's numbers come out in June, then we're probably going to see a dip in May's sales as well. So again, watch that trend as it continues. Just one piece of data to pay attention to. Another thing to look at, again, sales days on market for homes that have sold, little by little coming down, and days on market for active homes, again, right around 3 months of inventory, or 3 months, homes have been listed on average. Again, that varies from area to area. So what you see in Queen Creek, it may not be the same for Goodyear, Paradise Valley, that kind of thing, but just the market as a whole, and really give a good representation. And then we're looking at monthly sales per square foot. Again, that is up from last month, up from last quarter, still well below where we were, a year ago. But look at the 2-year number. And then 3 years ago is even below that. And that is important, again, and that is really affecting our inventory here of how many people are rate locked and monthly payment locked. And that is affecting the inventory we're seeing. More on that here in a moment. Monthly sales appreciation is down. Average sales price per list, and again, 97%. Again, and a lot of real estate numbers, they can be manipulated to look a certain way. And I'm not saying this is, but when you're looking at this, now this isn't the original list price. This sale at home starts at 500, but then it drops to 450, sells at 440. They're looking at that percentage based on the list price where it sold, not the original list price. And the listing success rate, again, has climbed up little by little, almost at 82%. And for me, that is, again, it's a lagging indicator, but we're still seeing, I don't want to say it's a full lagging indicator because we do see homes come off the market, but sometimes that takes months for homes not to sell and come off. So that may not be the most direct right now best piece of info, but it is something I like to pay attention to, especially back in the fall when I saw that drop in the 50s and it was falling pretty quickly. For some sellers, it was not going to be pretty. But right now, if your home is priced right, marketed right, and the best option for people, you are going to sell. Now, I still see sellers trying to price their home where they think it is, not where it actually should be. And it sits and sits and sits. And now they're just chasing the market. Not a good spot to be in. And they're going to be in, that 18% that doesn't sell. I promise you that. I see it every single day. And then we're looking here at the average monthly average monthly sales price. And we're up again to 555, up from last month, up from last quarter. And this time last year, we were right around the highest ever recorded on average, was just around $600,000. And the median is up today at 429. Now, if we look back at April, the median was 4.25. And they're projecting for May, the final numbers come out, projecting the median to be 434. and they're projecting the average to be 561. So still, if you look back a year and 2 years ago, 3 years ago, or not a year ago, but people who bought those homes 3 years ago, 4 years ago, they were not paying that. Their rate was not that. So that is why we're seeing inventory so low. People are locked in at that low payment, that low rate. For them to buy the same home, they're going to be paying 40% more at least, plus a higher rate. So those people are holding on to their properties. Now, what I am seeing, some Airbnb people releasing, not all, just some folks I've spoken to, and also some out of state second, they own a second home or a third home here. Maybe they're cash buyers and they don't really care about the rate. I'm seeing those people cash in, seeing those people, release their property, put it on the market and get it sold. And then we're going to the Cromford Market Index. We are at 157.6. Again, that number continues to go up, but this is just pieces of the puzzle and just something to pay attention to over time. I know a lot of people like to talk about the crash is coming, and I'm not saying it's not, but a lot of times with housing, with real estate, it is not the first thing that you see. It may take years for the real estate market to, reflect what we're seeing in the economy here, locally, nationally, even globally. If you look at the amount of consumer debt, it is through the roof. Car payments through the roof. Credit cards, what people have is insane, and the amount of consumer savings is so low. So I think that is going to be a huge factor moving forward. But when does that actually catch up? When do we start seeing that? Because right now we just don't have the inventory. Now, if we start seeing, bank failures again and again, that might be part of it. And also, like I did in another video, talking about layoffs. So I think layoffs would also be a huge factor, especially as capital becomes more expensive. Rates just went up again today, and we'll pop over again to Mortgage News Daily. And rates right now are right around 7%, the highest they've been in 2 months. And then we had, Silicon Valley Bank failure, and that helped bring rates down. And but now we're back up almost at 7%. And keep in mind, this is national average, and this is with good credit. So if you have crap credit, then you're going to be in an even worse spot, and you better hope that you can get a concession from the seller. But while it is being competitive and you're competing against other people, you may not be able to get that concession if you're in multiple offer situations. So again, it is case by case. Now, if I were a buyer and I needed a concession, need help with closing costs, obviously I would try. I would work with my agent and get a concession from the seller, or I also look at new builds. Still, some of these builders are offering concessions. Again, I've had clients get $10,000, 4% to buy that rate down and look there. But even builders are not offering the same concessions. Like I mentioned again in another video, in December, builders were doing around 900 to 1,000 permits in Maricopa County. And at one point, that number was 3,000. But now they're back up to around 2,300. So they're confident. But again, are they going to be stuck with a bunch of inventory homes if this market falls? But I think they see, if it is going to, it's not going to be in the immediate future. So that's just kind of, where we're at. I know some people have mentioned, again, foreclosures. So right now, pending foreclosures, that doesn't mean pending is under contract, but they're pending foreclosures. Maricopa County is at, just under 1,993. And for context, September of 2009, that number was a little over 50,000. So yeah, the foreclosure numbers aren't there either. So what does that mean moving forward if you're a home buyer? Well, it just depends on your situation. I would not buy a home with the anticipation of refinancing. Yeah, it's great if you can, but I would buy a home thinking worst case scenario, can I afford this payment? And also, why am I moving? Like I mentioned again in another video, my wife and my family, we are looking for a new home. We're actively shopping, but again, there's no inventory. So we're just waiting for that right house to come up. I'm trying to talk to sellers. Do you want to sell? A lot of people, they just don't want to trade that in. So while we continue to have low inventory, that will keep pushing prices up. And we'll see again with the rates. If they go up even more, what does that do to the market? Is the inventory low enough to combat that? Then if we start seeing rates fall even lower, will that push some sellers into listing their home? But then it's just that cycle. We're around 75,000 homes short in the state. So for now, that's where we're at. That is what we're going to see in the market. So if you're a buyer here, it's just just think about why you're. Sorry, I lost you because I unplugged. But we're live today because my editor's on vacation and I want to get a video out, and I did not want to edit a video. But if you have questions, reach out, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.